What up, what up? Ed, good to see you. Nicholas, Taylor, how's everyone doing? It is hot in the Northeast, I will tell you that, which is nice. It's not great for the car live streams, but what are you gonna do? I appreciate the nice weather. Slowly let people funnel in here. Ed, good to see you. Nicholas. Messi, good to see you. How long exactly is alt season? That's tough, Nicholas. That's tough. A lot of people will pretend like they know exactly how long alt season's gonna be. I'll tell you this, it's a guess every time. Every altcoin season is different. I would say they normally last at least a year, but exactly how long it's gonna last, look, no one knows the answer to that question, unfortunately. One of these times we're going to head into a market environment where the cycle just goes and doesn't come back. And when that's going to be, no one knows the answer to that, but every single market cycle is different. It's never going to be predictable and easy. And I know that's probably an uncomfortable answer for some people, right? Everyone wants an easy answer. Everyone wants a magic solution. Everyone wants it to be, okay, the altcoin season lasts this long and then it's over. But look, guys, anyone telling you they know exactly what's going to happen, anyone telling you they know exactly what price these different assets are going to go to, anyone acting like they know the exact market cycle and when things are going to top and when things are going to bottom, look, guys, you're just making it up. Look, I could get on here every single day and tell you guys, okay, the top is going to be February 13th of 2025. XRP is going to hit exactly $78 on that date, and then it's going to start dropping on this date. Look, I can come on here every single day and give my opinion, and it's just as valid as anyone else running around saying those things. So it's just important to understand that no one can predict the future. It's absolutely impossible, and people can look at what happened in the past and make projections based on what has happened before in the past. That's perfectly fine, but it's nothing more than a prediction. So typically altcoin seasons last about a year. How long is this one gonna last? Who knows? I think a year is a safe guess, but we could see it way longer if we have deep institutional adoption. We can see it way shorter if we see Coinbase go bankrupt. Anything could happen. So on this channel, I just like to be realistic with you guys. I don't like to pretend like I'm some magic fortune teller like I think a lot of other people kind of try to do. And look, I just think that's the reality of the situation. And if you can just accept the reality that we're investing into a game-changing asset class that can really change the entire financial system as we know it, then I think it's safe to say that that's probably going to require a pretty decent price. Yeah, in my eyes, this bull run is just getting started. It's just getting its teeth. I haven't even started like thinking about, hey, is this thing almost over? China banned the Hong Kong ETF. Is that true, Messi? Is China saying that you can't access the Bitcoin ETF if you're there? Guys, also, we have 100 people in here. Make sure to smash the like button. Would really, really appreciate that. Want to get as many people in here as possible. And also a massive shout out to everyone who's new. Love getting new subs on the channel. It's really nice getting to interact with a whole bunch of new people. And sometimes you get some questions, right, that people in the community haven't thought of. So really appreciate liking the stream. Silver Days, good to see you. Halls Balls, love to see you guys. Thank you. Just so you know, eTech Connect, maybe you know this. You actually have to go to the upper right-hand corner right up here, hit the drop down, and then you can like the stream. There's another way you can send the heart emoji. That's not actually liking the stream. So would really appreciate everyone going to this upper right-hand corner and liking the stream there. I know it's weird and dumb, but it does make a difference. RPM, you do not have to apologize, man. It's good to have you here. And always love seeing you in the chat. Dave Nelson, good to see you. RPM for moderator. I forgot. All right. RPM can be a moderator. RPM deserves it. Love that call, Silver Days. Love that call. RPM is here a lot. RPM deserves it. Shane O, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. The trend on BCD. Oh yeah, Taylor. Taylor, I don't know if you saw the video I did last night, but I essentially took what we realized on that live stream and put it into a condensed 10-minute video. And if you mix that Bitcoin to that Bitcoin XRP price chart with the logarithmic XRP price chart with the end of the Ripple SEC case, I mean, it is absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane how ready that thing looks to go. And you also mix that with the fact that right now, we're sitting at a point where almost everyone is scared, almost everyone is bearish. It just seems like everything's lining up perfectly. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad you saw it. Look, Taylor, you were part of the inspiration for that video, man. I wasn't paying close enough attention to that Bitcoin to XRP dominance. And you factor that into the equation as just another data point, really pointing us to the direction I think we all think we're going. So I appreciate you dropping me that alpha. It definitely inspired me. Yeah, guys, I think I kind of have my own sort of style of TA. I think there's no question that I'm not necessarily a full believer in just raw technical analysis, but I do like lining up technical analysis with fundamental news, and I think that's kind of what I did in that video. So I had a decent amount of fun with that one. How is the AMM progressing? The AMM is looking really good, guys. Every single time I check the automated market maker, the TVL is rising at a very, very nice clip. I think last time we did an AMM update was last week, and there was 300,000 XRP in the largest pool. Now the largest pool is almost to 900,000 XRP, so we're getting close to 1 million XRP in the largest pool. The second largest pool is now very close to 400,000 XRP, and after that it's 200,000, and another one of 200,000. So these pools are filling up and locking up XRP as native liquidity for the network. And look, that's just massively bullish. The automated market maker, I think, is going to be used for deep utility in Ripple's products. I think we're still early to seeing Ripple actually using the automated market makers. I think Ripple wants to see things progress a little bit before they jump into it. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a very interesting tool for Ripple's products going forward. And I'm really excited to see how Ripple utilizes them. Thank you for liking the stream, bro. I would love to get the likes over 100. That would be absolutely amazing. Upper right-hand corner, little drop down. You could like the stream. It's super, super helpful. Tax day crushed your dry powder. Always so hard to keep some available. Yeah, I agree, Taylor. I agree. It is hard to keep cash available, especially when you're investing into multiple different assets at once. I obviously invest in the equity. I invest in equities also. I have a couple different cryptocurrencies I invest in, but I'm mostly focused on XRP. But when you're constantly looking for new places to put your money, it is hard to keep up on actually keeping some cash liquid. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's important to understand that dollar cost averaging normally wins out. Whether or not you get every single dip, it doesn't really matter. And I always talk about on the channel, I think in 10 to 15 years from now, right, fretting whether or not you bought XRP at 30 cents or 70 cents will seem kind of silly. And I purposely pick a very large gap in price there on whether or not it matters, because that's kind of the price range we've been in, where people are kind of fretting, oh, I got it at 45 cents, so now it's at 30 cents. Look, if XRP is trading at $15, $25, no one's going to care whether or not they got it at 37 cents or 50 cents. So it's just important to understand perspective. XRP is a very, very, very volatile asset that is not volatile for large periods of time. Because of that, I think it's easy for people to hyperanalyze on what the noise is and what they're getting XRP at in very, very small different time frames. But over the long term, I really don't think the exact price you get XRP at is really going to matter. Yeah, Crypto Clay, I'm holding for at least new all-time highs. And Look, I've been very candid on this channel that most of my XRP, right, is sticking with me for the long term. Look, I don't really plan on selling my XRP to a large portion of it because there's so many different things I can do outside of selling my XRP to generate profit. We're seeing native lending coming to the ledger. So we're going to see a lot of ways to generate yield by keeping your XRP. And look, I just don't want to sell my XRP. That's awesome, Taylor. That's awesome, Taylor. I don't know. I'm not buying and selling as much just because I like to keep the tax implications low. I like to keep the tax implications low, so I don't buy and sell XRP that often. But, I don't buy and sell assets that often at all. I buy assets. I don't really profit and sell. But if I was in a different position, then maybe I would. I just don't like the tax implications of it. It gives me a headache when I would just rather not deal with it. Taylor, Tracy, why doesn't the AMM move price at all? Look, XRP seems to have things that control the price that aren't necessarily correlated to what we think would control the price. The AMM is going to lock up massive amounts of XRP as native liquidity for the ledger, Tracy. And look, think about it this way. If there was total 300 million XRP available for sale right now, and the AMM sucked up 200 million of those XRP for sale, locking them up as native liquidity for the XRP ledger, people are going to be forced to pay more for the 100 million XRP left than they would have when there was 300 million XRP left. So the AMM is going to have an impact on XRP. It's not going to be an instantaneous impact. It's going to be more of an impact over the long run. Riding coin to sub 100. Interesting. Let's see what else we got. The questions are flying in, guys. Really appreciate it. Flare stood strong, held pretty good Saturday. First crypto I saw go green after the dump. Yeah, Flare's got a lot of momentum behind it, so the Flare probably is going to recover very quickly when we do see these market events. Oh, got a Gala position. I used to hold a Gala position. I don't anymore. No actual reason behind it. I'm just like, I'm a little out of the gaming tokens at the moment. I understand why people like them. I wouldn't say they're my cup of tea at the moment, but who knows, maybe that changes. Yeah, Taylor, I'm not going to sell my XRP likely ever. I'm gonna I need to make it clear when I say this, just so I can confuse people. Guys, when I say I'm not gonna sell my XRP, it doesn't mean I'm not gonna sell a couple thousand XRP here and there to go on a vacation or go buy like a new car or something, right? Obviously, there's going to be some profits taken along the way for XRP. But when I say sell my XRP, I mean selling a substantial chunk. Most of that XRP is gonna be with me for the long run, right? Look, I have some XRP that's kind of just dust on exchanges, but if XRP hits a certain price, I'm going to sell some of that off just to make some money, right? Reward myself for the journey we've been on. So I'm not going to tell anyone, right? Don't reward yourself, but just understand that for me, I'm going to be holding a lot of my XRP. Hopefully for the next 10, 15, 20 years, right? My goal for XRP is for it to be kind of like an Apple or an Amazon in my portfolio, where I bought it when no one understood what was going on, and then I just look back at my portfolio and say, wow, this is shocking how much this has gone up with time. I'm not trying to change. I'm not trying to time anything. I'm not trying to get in and out. I'm really just trying to be a long-term holder. So look, it doesn't mean I'm not going to take profits along the way, but I am holding most of it for the long run. Here we go. Martin O'Connor, hey Mickle, a bit of a different question. Do you have something in place if you die suddenly regarding your seed phrase? I know you don't have kids, but you have any advice on how to deal with it? That's a really good question, Martin. I think there's a couple avenues you can go down. The first avenue you can go down would be, look, I think obviously you could let one of your children know or someone you trust know about where that seed phrase would be and how to access it and how to use it. Now, you are taking risk when you're doing that, but maybe the risk is worth it because you're getting a reward. It's always important to know there are always risks and there are rewards. There's risks and rewards to everything. So sharing your seed phrase with something like a kid, as long as you trust that kid, right, depending on the age, there are rewards to doing this. Now, there are other aspects you can do as well. Another aspect you could do is to move that into something like a Caleb and Brown. Now, you're going to have a lot more money for a Caleb and Brown, but they're an OTC broker where essentially you could designate someone else to the account. That's another way to do it. My overall opinion is if I was in that situation, I would very much likely, if I had a very strong connection with the person I was ready to hand it down to, I would likely just tell them where to find the seed phrase, right? I think that is a good medium where if you end up losing trust with that person, you could just move the seed phrase to a different location. And then if they tried to access it without you knowing, they wouldn't know where it is. But then if you continue to have trust with that person throughout your entire relationship, they know where it is and they can access it. So I think that would be my best strategy without getting too complicated. But you just always need to understand there's risks and rewards. Darren Naples makes a great point too. He said, I trust capital account. That way you can designate beneficiaries. The only reason I didn't really go down that road, Darren, is just because he said seed phrase specifically. So I'm assuming he wants to keep that in self-custody. Ian, good to see you, man. He said, I'm retired. I don't have a good income stream to spend on more crypto. My target is to take profits about 80% of my crypto, and I will less ride. I have to take account of the tax implications. Ian, that is incredible, man. And that's what I appreciate, Ian, specifically about someone like yourself and really just understanding your own goals. Because obviously, right, I'm not retired. I'm a psychopath. I'm doing these live streams every single day. I'm at work right now. I work full time. So, look, someone like me, I have much different goals than someone like Ian. But Ian is a very smart individual, obviously. He's not going to change his own goals based on my goals. And that's what everyone needs to understand. Everyone's in a completely different position, and everyone needs to invest based on their position. So, really, really understand what Ian is saying. Ian comes on these live streams all the time and asks me questions about the technology. He asks me about the investment thesis, A, B, C, and D. But there's certain things, right, where Ian has to develop his own kind of thesis, and that's specifically around his own financial situation. And so I think that's super, super important to understand. Everyone has to have their own plan according to their own financial position. Daniel nailed it. Let me see what Daniel says. Oh, awesome. Daniel said, I have a gun safe. No one knows the combo, but I have measures in place and a living trust. The only way I would do it. Very good insight, Daniel. And look, guys, I don't want to be over the top, but I think there's a lot of different smart ways you can do this. I think as long as you're thinking about it and preparing it, I think most people are going to be perfectly fine. So don't stress about having the perfect solution. There's never going to be a perfect solution. But as long as you're working to really try to put plans in place, then I think the majority of people are going to be in a very good place over the long run. That's part of the disadvantage of being early, right? You kind of have to get through some of these weird little loopholes, and you have to kind of make things work for yourself. But the advantage is there's a lot more profit from being early. So I know some of this stuff can be annoying that we have to deal with this, but just understand, right, when it's easy, everyone's going to do it, and there's going to be a lot less profit to actually be gained from it. T8TE, have I changed my opinion on XLM? I hold a small position of XLM. It's really old. It's more of just a hedge. Look, I don't really have a position change on XRP. There's probably Look, it's important to understand there's probably hundreds of cryptocurrencies out there that I would like to invest in, but I just don't want to invest in them more than I want to invest in XRP. So it's not really that I have anything against XLM. It's just that I only have a certain amount of capital that I have coming in every single month. And I have to choose every single time I get that capital, where am I going to allocate that capital? For me, I can't allocate all my capital to cryptocurrency. I allocate capital to equities and cryptocurrency. So first off the bat, a lot of my capital goes into the equity market, into different stocks. Now, a large portion of that also goes into the crypto market, but then once I get to the crypto market, well, XRP is my favorite investment, so most of the capital goes to XRP. Then I really like Flare a lot, so a lot of my value goes to Flare, and by the time it comes to investing in other stuff, there's just not a lot of capital left to go around. So it's important to understand I don't really have anything against XLM, it's just that it's hard for me to invest in XLM over XRP. Mech42, thank you, man. Always appreciate when I see someone coming on with their first donation. Really cool to see it. I'm just glad I'm providing value. He said, I have a plan to pass my XRP to my kids and hope to let them have a better life. Learned so much from you. Cheers from Croatia. All the best to everyone. Wow, really cool, man. Really appreciate that comment. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoy the stream so much. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Thank you for supporting me. And yeah, I'm just so happy I have such an awesome base behind me. I'm so glad I have such awesome subscribers. That really has made this journey so much fun. So just glad you're along with the ride, man. And yeah, thank you again. The UK has chosen R3 plus Quant for their regulated liability network. Is that some kind of announcement that was today, DFin, or is that something you've just seen before? Let me take a look. I'm going to take a look at the news right now and see if anything specific is kind of catching my eye. I haven't seen too much today that was overly... Let's see. Yeah, I have heard from a lot of people that R3 is 100% still using XRP too. I have a, I don't know if you guys know Jake Claver, but he specifically works with R3. He's gone to many meetings with R3. And Jake was very specific in saying that R3 doesn't have legal clarity. I mean, XDC doesn't have legal clarity. R3, oh my God. So I'm sorry. XDC doesn't have legal clarity. XRP does. And therefore, R3 is very likely to be using XRP. No, look, guys, it's just bright, man. This is the first day in Connecticut in maybe months. We haven't been sitting in clouds and rain, so I gotta throw the glasses on. Sometimes you need the glasses for like a 3.5-hour live stream. Man, when you're staring at a computer screen that long, especially with like the bright lights I have on my face to light everything up, you get a headache if you're looking at the screen too long. Dave Nelson, Jake only holds XRP. Dave, is that true? That's interesting. I'm on board with the all XRP portfolio. I personally, if you were to say pick 3 cryptocurrencies for a portfolio, I think I would say Bitcoin, XRP, Flare. I think Bitcoin has the most mainstream adoption right now, and therefore just stick with it. Flare, I think, has a lot of potential in really becoming something prominent. And I think XRP has the best use case to becoming a financial tool for the regulated financial system. So those are my 3 favorites, I think. Oh, Sean, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I just put that together, Sean. I just put that together that you... Good to see you, Sean. Good to see you. Flare airdrops, are they real? Yeah, Flare airdrops are 100% real. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. You slip up once in a while. Hong Kong just approved Bitcoin ETH ETF. Yes, yes, yes. Hong Kong did just approve Bitcoin and ETH ETF. And guys, I think this is. We'll talk about this real quick. We'll talk about this because I think it's important. I remember when I first got into crypto, there's a lot of talk that a lot of these different places were going to be banning Bitcoin. A lot of these different places were going to be banning cryptocurrency. We've completely moved past that. Now we're just looking for when the adoption is going to take place. So it's a completely different conversation. I think it's important to realize that jurisdictions are now opening their arms to this financial technology rather than slamming the door on it. And I think that's massively critical for the thesis. I mean, what was one of the worst things that could have happened for cryptocurrency? It was the larger nations and governments slamming the door and saying this is illegal. That is not happening. In fact, actually, the opposite is true. I think we've already seen things put in place that essentially cement this industry as a critical asset class going into the future. So I just think it's a massive thesis validation. And then you could even get even more bullish when you start talking about the amount of money that will flow into this crypto asset class because of these ETFs. Yeah, Sean, I mean, I would recommend, look, Sean, I would recommend just holding your crypto on something like an uphold if you're having those kinds of issues. I always tell people, right, if you can't figure out the technicals of the wallet and stuff and the trust lines, just don't even go down that road until you're ready. Like, I could sit down and have a conversation with you about it, but I don't mean to be, look, some of this stuff is just complicated, and not everyone needs to take those advanced steps towards self-custody. Many people are better off and safer just providing or just utilizing an uphold service like Uphold. So maybe that's a better solution. Maybe that's a better solution. True, man, I love that comment. True said, I loved Flare at 0.008 cents when no one else did. Yeah, True. Look, that's how it works. People act like they're here for certain things, but at the end of the day, everyone's here for the price. A lot of people will get very bearish when price is low and bullish when price is high. It's so funny. That's the way that humans work, but that's how it is. And look, you're right. Like, investing in Flare at those lower prices was the profitable move. It was the move that actually made value. Meanwhile, all the people, right, who are trying to get in now and were flooding Flare at the bottom, who were flooding Flare when it was at those lower prices, those are the people who missed out big. So Flare's always been one of my favorite projects. I've been very consistent in saying, right, this is a game-changing product for moving value all around the world. And it's funny how many people are waking up now that the price is up, but were completely asleep when the price was down. Hallsball said, I loved it at Penny. Yeah, no, exactly. No, look, I think a lot of us were big fans of Flare the entire time. And I really appreciated, Tiger, good to see you, man. I really appreciated this group specifically because, like, you guys, I got on here every single day. And everyone understood, right, that Flare was a great project. Everyone understood that Flare was positioned just as good as ever. And, you know, this is a group of people who weren't shaken out by low prices. So that's what I really appreciate. Taylor, for XRP, the devs come when there's an announcement as big as BOV going to use RippleNet and ODL. Oh, sorry, for XRP, if the day comes where the announcement is as big as BOA going to use RippleNet for ODL, I don't see how people don't get priced out immediately. I completely agree, Taylor. Look, a large portion of this market right now just seems controlled by higher powers. I don't know who controls the market at the moment. I don't understand how the price moves the way it does, but things simply don't really make sense at the moment. I don't believe in the cryptocurrency market. Look, I think that's going to change in a big way one day. When that changes, I have no idea. I hope it's sooner than later. But when we do find out that these large American institutions like Bank of America our Ripple partners are using XRP, are using digital assets like XRP to solve real world problems. It's hard for me not to believe that a large portion of this market isn't going to be priced out very quickly. Guys, also we have 228 people in here. Make sure to smash the like button. Upper right hand corner right here, there should be 3 dots. If you hit these 3 dots, it should allow you to drop a like on the stream. If you haven't done that already, I'd really appreciate you doing that. It helps out more than you would think. Yeah, so just wanted to put that announcement out there. Let's see what we got. Hall's Ball says, stack them low and sell them high. The name of the game, boys and girls. Hall's Balls, you're the best, man. You're the best. Thank you for liking the stream. Really appreciate it. Dave Nelson, 10 years from now, people will be bragging that they bought the dip at XRP at $1,000. Yeah, I mean, look, that's how it works, man. That's how it works. We're so early to this asset class, and I think a lot of people think we have more mainstream adoption than we do. We are so early. And guys, if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for these live streams, you guys probably wouldn't know a single other person who held XRP. You probably wouldn't have even heard of XRP before. It's because of the internet, it's because of YouTube and X that we feel like we're this massive group of people. We think that the mainstream understands what's being built here, but the fact is we are still so early to all of this. Wow, Ian, that's really cool, Ian. That's really cool. I highly suggest anyone looking to learn more about actually passing down their seed phrase, take a look at Ian's comment, and I'll actually just pin it up real quick, just so people can take a look at that. Am I drinking vinegar? Yes, I'm drinking a gallon of vinegar at the moment. No, I'm not drinking vinegar. It's water. I need a gallon because when I come out to these live streams, I get thirsty and I'll just drink right through a normal water bottle. At least one day closer to the XRP SEC case going away. I completely agree. Daniel said I spent some of my allowance on gun ammo money, son's birthdays, stripper money. Yeah, man, it's been a busy weekend. I've been spending some money too, kind of getting my summer wardrobe right. Weather's getting nice here. I got to refresh the wardrobe a little bit, so I've been doing a little shopping, getting the look right. But yeah, hopefully pretty soon with some good price appreciation, we won't have to worry about these things. The stock market has been a little bit of a drag recently. I hope we move on from that. Oh boy. It looks like oh, never mind. Sometimes my app glitches out a little bit. Bitcoin's just hanging at that 64 level. The stock market really isn't helping right now. The stock market is just ugly. There's no other way to say it. The stock market is just ugly right now, which is annoying, right? It's putting pressure on the cryptocurrency market, but hopefully this doesn't last much longer. The stock market broke out to new all-time highs. To me, it looks like it's just doing a little bit of a retest back on those highs. It looks like it's just trying to find some footing. The stock market did have a good year, despite the fact that for some reason it doesn't seem like it had a good year. But like the NASDAQ is still very close to all-time highs. The Dow is close to all-time highs. So it's funny that it doesn't feel like we're kind of at these like all-time high levels, but the stock market is there. Oh, that's nice. You guys got the tax returns coming in. That's really nice. Oh man, I haven't had a tax return in a minute. So now I pay all my money to the government. Now all my money goes to the government. I don't get a tax return. Yeah, Taylor, Chad Steingrabber put a great altcoin chart on the board the other day, really breaking down how good the altcoin market was really looking. I have such a hard time not being extremely excited about where altcoins are going. And the entire cryptocurrency market, right? Like, I don't really think about it as altcoins and Bitcoin. I just think that the altcoins are more representative of the entire market. But look, I mean, it's hard not to be very excited where we're positioned right now. Yeah, Daniel, that's fair. Daniel, that's a good point. I kind of forgot about that. Daniel said, I actually thought the stock market would have looked worse today based off Saturday. So good news so far. Daniel, I think that's a good perspective, man. I think that's a good perspective. I think you're right. I think you're right. You know what's funny? This is kind of what we've been doing. What happens, I've noticed, is we'll kind of have a... what I kind of see happening is we kind of, right before earnings in the stock market, everyone starts selling and getting scared. I think especially with people raising money for taxes, I think that has put some selling pressure on the market. So I think a lot of people have kind of had reasons to sell recently, whether they're scared of earnings or taxes or whatever. But I think when earnings come in and they're not that bad and the tax situation's over, we'll kind of be back to a place where liquidity is coming back into the market. Let's see, when is tax day? I think that might be April 15th. Okay, so that's today. So hopefully today's the last day of selling for tax purposes. I would think most people already had that done. I would think most people probably already had their tax situation finished, but who knows? I think humans in general like to do things at the last minute, so maybe people are still taking some profits for taxes. I overspent today, wife big mad. That's funny, most likely forever. Wife big mad. Yeah, I don't have those issues. I'm not a married man, so my capital goes where I want my capital to go. One of the good parts about being single, I guess. Murdoch, what up, Murdoch? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. We missed you today. Yeah, Daniel, and what's so funny is about the Iran-Israel thing, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't word that like that. It's not funny at all. But it's funny that the market sold off the way it did because, look, we've been in the same situation in the Middle East forever, and it just seems like another kind of thing to happen. I don't see it as being that impactful to the market, so I'm kind of convinced that the markets were reacting to something else. Maybe there was some manipulation, maybe not, but it just doesn't seem like... I mean, so many people were freaking out about that attack, and almost every single drone was shot down. So I'm glad the attack wasn't successful. I'm glad the damage from it wasn't that bad, but the market sold off like a nuclear bomb went off. So it's kind of interesting to see how that market reacted there. To me, it just didn't seem like it made a lot of sense. Galicia, that's a great comment. Galicia says, I am married and my capital still goes where I say. That's what happens when you marry well. Good point, Galicia. Good point. Good for you, man. Good for you. No, I'm just messing around. I think there's a bit of a shift, I think, with the younger generations. It doesn't seem like to me, like, none of my friends are married. No one my age is married, which is kind of funny. Ed said nuclear is the fear. Yeah, Ed, you seem to have a very good geopolitical knowledge on how things work. I was reading through that message you sent me the other night, and it was very, very, very interesting reading through that. I can tell you got a lot of knowledge on it, but I'm going to pray for the best, right? I'm just going to pray for the best. J&K Money, good to see you, man. Good to see you. J&K Make Money, always nice having you here. The attack was expected and the market knew already Friday something was going to happen. Defen, I agree, right? Because we saw the volatility spike. I don't know if you were on the space with JB, but JB messaged me instantly and he's like, Mikkel, why is the volatility spiking? And I was like, you know what, JB, you're right. I have no idea why volatility is spiking. Then we found out about the attack, and then over the weekend, We had crypto sell off once those news headlines started hitting. You have to think something else was going on with crypto. My guess is that a large institution liquidated another large institution, and they used kind of the headlines to spark fear. They probably planted some media things around, planted some stories so the large institutions could get some retail help, but ultimately it looked like whales liquidating whales, if I was to really guess. Great insight though, Defin, that's awesome. I'm one of those people who I am very happy to flip a narrative, change when I think I'm wrong, jump on board with different theories, whatever sounds good. And not that I'm just willingly accepting everything, but I think a lot of people get so stuck into their initial gut reaction when they hear something. A lot of people get so sucked into like what they've already pre-planted in their head is the reason something happened. But I love hearing different ideas, love hearing different theories. And at the end of the day, for me, no one actually knows the answer, right? There's what happened, and then there's an infinite list of probabilities for what actually occurred, and each outcome has its own probability. So I like assigning probabilities to different things, and then kind of understanding that I'm never going to have the right answer, but I can assign what probabilities I think are the highest for a given outcome. And that's really how I normally take each situation. Assign the probabilities, see which probability seems the most likely, and then maybe stick with the top 2 or 3 for giving myself a good guess on what actually happened. I'm going to check the market real quick, see if anything's going on X, see if we got anything interesting to talk about. It seems like for the most part right now, things are relatively subdued. I think the stock market last week doing so poorly was a predecessor to the dump because the attack was imminent. That's why the market is balanced today. Yeah, Daniel, and I think the attack just kind of turned into like, look, it's hard to use these words, right? Because obviously, you guys all know that I don't want a war. But I think the stock market was kind of saying, look, there was all these headlines for an attack and all the drones were shot down. So what really changed, right? It's just 2 countries who are still mad at each other, but there wasn't any kind of drastic tide shift. There wasn't really any more uncertainty. It just seems like the same thing over and over again. So as much as I would love to see that thing end and to essentially get the catalyst of it being over, I don't think things are necessarily seem worse than they were before. Maybe things are a little worse. Maybe things are a little more hostile. Ian said, don't press the heart until after you have pressed the 3 dots at the top of the chat and selected like from there. Ian, I really appreciate that. That's true. Guys, there's 2 different ways to send a like. One is just pressing that little heart. Not that I don't appreciate it, but that doesn't help me as much as you actually going to the 3 dots and actually hitting the drop down and liking the stream there. So if you haven't done that yet, I would really appreciate you taking a second to do that. It really helps me out. RPM, interesting, up 5%. Well, right now it seems like most of the market's down a little bit, but I guess 5% to the bottom would make sense. Taylor, I love when you ask the question too and you have the QQ to start it off. That lets me know you're coming in with some gas. As time goes forward and the de-dollarization continues to happen, what do you think happens to USD as the world reserve? Saw BRICS echoing oil trade to be in different currencies again last night. Okay, Taylor, that's an amazing question. So I'm going to give you the thesis from a digital asset investor, right? Because I think there's a couple different theses here, but I want to go from a digital asset investor. RPM says, yo, Redbeard. Yeah, no, in the summer, guys, it's going to get red. It's going to get red. Okay, so Taylor, a lot of people talk about de-dollarization and think that when we talk about de-dollarization, we mean that the United States isn't going to have the dollar anymore. So long as we have the U.S. government, I think we're going to have a strong dollar. Now, I fully believe that other nations are going to be a lot less accepting of our dollar. What do I mean? I don't think it really makes sense for other countries to be using the dollar internally unless they essentially have kind of a puppet US government going on. But if you're your own sovereign nation, I think you're likely moving away from the dollar. Why are you moving away from the dollar? Well, you're probably moving away from the dollar because you just want to have your own currency. You want control over your nation. You want to be able to print your own money, and you don't want to have to deal with the you don't have to deal with the headache of relying on another nation to do the things you want. You just do whatever you want. So I don't think when we talk about de-dollarization, we're talking about the United States moving away from the dollar. And in fact, I think the United States, right, is always going to have the dollar so long as the United States is the United States. What I think we're moving away from is other countries having to rely on our currency. I think likely other countries, they're just going to want to use their own currency. Why not? For a while, it was hard to do this, but as we move into more modern financial systems, as we move into financial systems built into the internet, it's actually very easy, or we're moving into a world where it's going to be much easier for nations to have their own sovereign currency. And as the rest of the world develops, it's going to make more and more sense for these nations to have their own currencies. So as more and more nations adopt their own currencies, I think it's going to put a premium on having something in the middle. It's going to put a premium in having a decentralized neutral asset that no one controls. Every single country has counterparty risk on their currency. Every single country has control over their currency and can manipulate it and use it however they want. So having a decentralized neutral asset in the middle of all of it is going to be extremely interesting and allowing countries to get exposure to liquidity without having to rely on any single nation. USD can strengthen other countries dumping their USD. Taylor, exactly. And that's why I think the United States has really flipped on their perspective of not wanting stable coins. I think the United States is really opening their arms to stable coins now that it has implications on the fact that the US dollar, if the United States pushes stable coins away, I think there's a very good chance that the native dollar for the internet might not be the dollar. What do I mean by that? We might see if Europe really allows stablecoin legislation to prosper there, we might see the predominant currency on the internet be a euro. Now, I think that's unrealistic right now, but if the United States was to make stablecoins illegal, that could happen. So I think the United States is opening their arms to the idea of digital dollars on the internet, stablecoins specifically, because it allows the dollar to stay prevalent in one of the more important markets on earth, which is the internet. China just created their own version of SWIFT. Ed, the more and more nations that spin up their own versions of SWIFT, the more and more we are going to need something to bridge all these different systems. That's where cryptocurrencies play such an important role. Fiat's not going anywhere. It's just going to be issued digitally. Harbinger, exactly. The people who think fiat are going away, I think, are a little clueless. There's something about 2 bills going through the House this week touching crypto. DFIN, very possible, but not that I know about. But you're always bringing really good stuff to this chat, so I wouldn't be surprised if you just are on something I'm not right now. I'm not hopeful that anything's going to pass. I'm never hopeful with anything with our government in terms of cryptocurrency, but I would love to be surprised there. I would love to be surprised, and I'll have to take a look. I know there was a lot of talk a couple months ago about SAB 121 getting repealed, and I know there's a lot of talk about stable coins. So DFIN, if you know anything about this, I would love to know if I'm close. Is it SAB 21 and stable coins? I think those were kind of the 2 primary things they were trying to get cleaned up. Digital asset investor mentioned me in a video. Oh, that's awesome. I'm starting to make a lot of appearances in DAI's videos, which is sick. You know, DAI doesn't really do interviews, but I would love to get on his channel at one point, man. I would love to get on his channel. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I like Digital Asset Investor a lot, and you know, it's always cool to see me popping up on his videos. So I really appreciate that from DAI, and it's so cool that every single day I'm popping up on there. If also, guys, if you guys ever see me show up on one of DAI's videos and like he says something, just throw the timestamp in the video so I can check it out later. Would love to see it. DAI likes me a lot. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Oh, that's great. I'm glad DAI likes me so much. And I know a lot of you actually have came over to me through DAI, so massive shout out to him, man. I think I've said this all the time. DAI is one of the guys who kind of taught me about cryptocurrencies, so I was also mentioned on Good Morning America today. You mean Good Morning Crypto, Mark Smith, or I was mentioned on Good Morning America? Brad Kimes, I have talked to Brad Kimes. I have talked to Brad Kimes, super nice dude. Love talking to Brad, man. I did an interview with him. It was so much fun. Huge fan of Brad, huge fan of DAI, and I'm excited to meet them both in Vegas. Super excited for that. Both great dudes. Tomorrow, April 16th, 8:01. This is from you. 2024 Hearing Subcommittee on National Security, Illicit Finance, Financial Institutions. Very interesting 8:01. So it looks like, look, I'll be surprised if they do anything. Anything in terms of crypto, but we'll see. Mickle on GMA means XRP 10,000. What's GMA? Why am I lost here? Why am I lost? Oh, Good Morning America. Got it. Okay. That's funny, Taylor. Yeah, Pomp is... I hate Pomp, man. I got an issue with Pomp. Pomp is such a loser. Man, I would love to... Pomp is one of those people who I would love to debate because Pomp knows he's full of shit. When you watch Pomp like interview Brad Garlinghouse, I mean, what a clown. I would love... Look, the funny thing about Pomp is like, look, I have some level of respect for Bitcoin maxis who are just only Bitcoin, right? If you're only Bitcoin and you're just like anti-XRP because you believe Bitcoin should be the only thing out there, look, that's your own thesis, and I can almost get behind that a little bit, right? I understand the thesis of Bitcoin and Bitcoin only because essentially, right, you're saying that nothing else in crypto is important, nothing having to do with financial technology is important, nothing having to do with upgrading the rails to our financial system is important. All we're looking is for digital gold 2.0. If that's your thesis, look, I don't agree with it, but it's a thesis. What Pomp does is Pomp is anti-XRP, but then goes shilling centralized lending platforms that have gone bankrupt and shilling just cryptocurrency projects that are terrible. Just actual S-coins. So Pomp is like so fake. He's not a real Bitcoin maxi. He's a paid shill. It's whoever's paying him to promote a project, he promotes it. So Pomp is as shilly as you get. He is terrible. At least the Bitcoin maxis stick to their guns, right? The Bitcoin maxis stick to Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, which I'm down to debate them on that. But at least they're consistent. Pomp is all over the place. Pomp is a mess. Pomp. I don't understand how you could have that little integrity for your own views. Yeah, Lark is another one. He's a smart guy. He's a good content creator. But talk about someone who's just willing to shill whoever comes to you with a bag of money and talk about whatever. I mean, it's insane. Yeah, Lark, I'm not a big fan of Lark. Look, I don't know why these people have gotten so anti-Ripple and XRP over the days. It doesn't make any sense to me. They act like it's because of some centralization issue, but then they pump something that's 10x more centralized than XRP and suddenly they don't have a problem with it. Like a lot of these people who are anti-XRP or pro-Solana, but they didn't like XRP because it was centralized, but now they like Solana, even though Solana's more... It's a joke, right? You can't logically get behind it, other than the fact that they just like chasing line go up. When line go up, they get really excited. So I think when XRP goes up, you're going to see all these same people saying, oh, well, everything's changed. I now love XRP. Like, look, these guys have very simple minds when it comes to investing, in my opinion. They might be good content creators. They might make flashy videos. They might edit things better. They might, I don't know. You know how it is, right? They just pump what's going up. George makes fun of XRP. Who's George? Pomp is a pump pimp. Yeah, Pomp's a joke. Yeah, I don't know. I just have a hard, obviously Pomp has, a big following, but I just have a hard time, understanding, whether or not Pomp actually has a group of people who believe in him, or it's more of him just being, a celebrity. Because I don't understand how you could still trust Pomp if you've been behind him since day one. I mean, the dude just flip-flops everywhere, constantly shilling you whatever comes across his screen, and it's more of him just, pumping his own bags and actually trying to provide any kind of idea of what the future is going to look like and how to profit from it. Never heard of Pomp? Look, he's more of a last cycle guy. There's a lot of people who were big in the last cycle who have kind of gone irrelevant. Pomp is one of them. I saw some talk about Charles Gasparino as well. Look, Charles Gasparino is a little lost. I think Charles has got a little bit of a issue with his own head, and I don't think he really is in a position to be commenting on other things. Oh, here we go. Oh, never mind. This is old. I don't know who that is, Bitcoin Dan. I don't know who that is, to be honest. There's a lot of people I don't know about, right? There's a lot of people I don't know about. There's new people coming in this space every single day, even new people coming to the XRP community. And for a lot of people, I was new to the XRP community, right? I didn't show up to the XRP community until maybe 2021, maybe. So I'm new to a lot of the XRP guys, even DAI and Brad Kimes, right? They kind of just started following me and kind of not accepting me, but just even seeing me, right? When you have that many followers, it's hard to keep track of every new person who comes into the community. So there's constantly new people coming in. Dirt Nap, once in a while on X, I'll get on a space and debate some of these people. The problem is most of these people don't actually like to have the debate because I crush them. Most of the people don't like to have the debate. They kind of run away from the debate. So I don't think I could really get any of them to come on my show and debate. But sometimes I do debate them on X. Look, I say this all the time. It's not really fun. Not that it's not fun. It's fun. But look, I don't mind when people don't like XRP. My goal is not to convince everyone to like XRP. My goal is to correct people when they're just spreading misinformation about XRP. I could care less if the rest of the world, right, believes in my investment thesis behind XRP. I think I'm going to end up being right, but I don't really expect other people to believe my investment thesis. But if other people are saying that my investment thesis is wrong based on just false information, based on facts they got wrong, that's when I like to come in and correct people. So, I don't know. I would love to have them on and debate some of them on the live stream. I think that's hard to do. I don't think many of them would do it. I think X is kind of a better platform than that. But I will say this, every single debate I've really had has been really respectful. I do appreciate that. For the most part, whenever I debate these people, everyone is very civil, and that makes it fun, right? It's not fun when you end up just in a pissing match and you end up just going through a bunch of personal attacks and yelling at each other. I appreciate when it's at least a civil discussion. Carl, XRP hasn't kept up in the bull market. Well, Carl, it's important to understand, right, that every single bull market XRP is in, it always lags. So if you take, Carl, what I want you to do, and I think this is going to be really good, is, sorry, something's beeping in my car right now. Carl, what I want you to do is I want you to go onto CoinMarketCap and click on the XRP price chart and hit compare to Bitcoin. You'll be able to look at the two charts on top of each other, and what you'll notice is XRP always lags the rest of the market. So, look, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but if you went into this market thinking that XRP was going to performed before Bitcoin, then you're just not looking at any kind of history, right? Yeah, Carl, take a look at 2018. Take a look at 2018 and compare the charts. What you'll notice is that Bitcoin went in 2018 or 2015 to 2018. In 2015 to 2018, Bitcoin went from, let's call it $500 to $20,000. I don't have the exact number. But during that time in which Bitcoin went from $500 to $20,000, XRP did absolutely nothing. It was trading at half a penny for that entire time. And everyone was watching Bitcoin go parabolic, and everyone is saying, oh, XRP is never going to move, it's never going to move. And then out of nowhere, it moved. So I think we're going to see the same exact thing again. So expecting XRP to perform with Bitcoin, it just has never done that before in the past. Daniel, very well said, Daniel, very well said. I'll let that be Daniel's comment for now. I'm not going to jump on that one, but Daniel, look, XRP just moves different than the rest of the market, and I think it's easier to accept that than try to fight it. XRP likes to do all its price appreciation at once. It likes to make big parabolic moves upward, and that is completely different than slow grinds upward like Bitcoin. Galicia, I'll have to check that, man. It might have had an upload. It might have had an upload error. It might have had an upload error. If you're talking about the live we did, it might have had an upload error, which would be unfortunate. It should have uploaded. It should have uploaded. So I don't know what happened there. Oh, Defin, that's good. That's a good question, Defin. That's a good question. That's a really good question, Defin. Me and Zach are on the same exact page, Defin. Me and Zach talked about this, actually. We're on the same exact page. I would love to really jump into that. But, you know, I'm thinking about whether or not I'll save that tomorrow, but Defin, it's a great question, so I'll just answer it. Uniswap has unilateral control over the smart contracts. Uniswap can change the smart contract. In my eyes, that gives them control over the exchange. Uniswap is the exchange. They control the smart contract, and therefore they control an exchange, and therefore should be registered. In XRP's case, the AMM is built into the core protocol. There's no smart contract maintained by anyone. It's maintained by the ledger itself, which is made up by 600 different nodes. So in XRP's ledger sense, no single node owns the AMM more than any other node, which means it's sufficiently decentralized. In Uniswap's case, it's Uniswap who owns the contract, and therefore, because they own the contract, they control the exchange. So I'm sure that's exactly what Zach said, or very close, because me and Zach talked about this, and we kind of both had that revelation of, oh, the XRP ledger is in a very unique position in regards to the Uniswap case, and I think me and Zach are going to end up being pretty on the money. Now, whether or not the courts agree with us, right? Unfortunately, me and Zach aren't lawyers and we're not judges, so we're kind of just throwing our educated opinion at it, but not professional opinion. But I'd be curious if Zach had a similar perspective, because me and Zach did kind of bounce some ideas off each other. And I'm not going to lie, I was giving Zach some crap because Zach kind of came up with a lot of that theory, or at least the basis behind it. And then I kind of stole his theory and put it in my own video, which was funny. So shout out to Zach for always being cool about that stuff. Zach never has any problems. Yes, they changed the fee structure directly after the Wells notice. Oh, interesting. Yeah, look, guys, here's the thing that's annoying. Like, the thing is the SEC saying you should have registered, but Uniswap can't register. So it's still ridiculous, right? Don't get me wrong. I do believe the SEC does have somewhat of a case against Uniswap, but it's still BS because Uniswap is being told you should have registered, and they can't register. It's impossible. You can't do it. So I don't want people to get confused, right? I'm not saying that Uniswap necessarily did something wrong. If you asked me, does it make sense that Uniswap should register? I understand why Uniswap should register, but it's probably not possible based on what the SEC has done to this industry. The SEC has made it impossible to register. So just want to make it clear. I just want to make it clear. I think Uniswap should be registered, but I don't think it's possible that they haven't. I don't think it's possible for them to do it under Gary Gensler. So I'm on Uniswap's side. I worry that the SEC does have a case. Yeah, Sean McLaughlin, you're spot on, man. You're spot on. Taylor, SEC should stick to ICOs and pump and dumps, leave utility tokens alone. Well, Taylor, that's the thing. I think the SEC knows that they already have ICOs under their jurisdiction, and I think the SEC doesn't need to make ground on that. But this is all a power grab, right? The SEC wants to get as much power as possible, and that means going after things that might be on the border of their jurisdiction. The SEC is just trying to get as much power as possible, that or try to stifle the industry, maybe both, maybe as much power as they can so they can stifle the industry. But the SEC clearly has an agenda to go after things that are actually providing utility rather than the scams. And it's embarrassing, it's convoluted, it's backwards. It shows what the SEC is, their agenda is in the wrong place. Oh, that's all right, Linda. It's good to have you as always, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was Saturday. We'll have to do more like that, Linda. We'll have to do more. I had a lot of fun on that live stream. It's just it's going to be a lot of fun to do a lot more live streams like that when the price is moving. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of fun to do it when the price is going up rather than going down. But I still think it was a good time to have it because a lot of people were kind of panicking, and it was a good time to have that live stream. But I'm going to do a lot more of those live streams when there's a little more excitement in the price, or at least excitement with something going on. I feel like we've kind of been a lull in crypto recently, so it's nice to be able to field questions and interact with people. But yeah, I know, Tracy. No settlement. Tracy, keep the predictions coming, though. We're going to land one of them. We're going to land one of them. Guys, I always know when it's time to start shutting down the stream. When I start getting texts from coworkers asking if I can get stuff done, I'm sitting here being like, oh, why is he asking me to do something? I'm busy right now. I'm on a live stream. All right, guys, with that said, it looks like I'm being called back to the office. I hope everyone has a great day. Silver Days, I'm glad you loved that live stream. We'll do more like that. And like I said, right, the overall goal for the channel is for me to be able to free up more and more time to do more and more live streams, provide more and more content for you guys. And I think we're going to have more and more opportunities for that in the future. Obviously, right now, I've got a lot of obligations on my hand, but look, hopefully as we kind of move towards the progression we're looking to move towards, I'm going to have more and more opportunities to do more and more work on the YouTube channel, keep providing more and more content for you guys, and I think we have really exciting days ahead. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Love you guys all. You guys are absolutely amazing, and for now, nickel out.